You guys already know what time it is. It is part 6 and I'm going to remove the fan clutch, and I'm also going to remove the alternator, the bracket, and I also want to remove the exhaust manifold. So this exhaust manifold, fingers crossed, we take this out with no bolts that crack along the way, but we'll see. Alright, so let's get to it. So the first thing I want to do, I want to remove the alternator, and I was looking at it, and there's this ground wire right here, and we're still attached to the alternator itself. So what we're going to first remove is this 14mm right there, and this 12mm right there, which I believe also holds in the dipstick. And of course we're going to finally take out the 12mm that holds in the alternator in place. And there's that bracket right there. We're just gonna go ahead and set that aside. Just remember where these bolts go, because the front 14 was a longer bolt, and I believe this bolt does hold in the timing cover as well. So what I like to do, I like to just put them back just so I don't lose them, and so I can remember where it goes, as well as this 12 back here that holds in the dipstick. Put it back, and the swivel bolt for the alternator. Alright, so there's a couple things holding the alternator still. I got this 14mm bolt right there, and you also got a 14mm bolt right there. So yeah, you just need to hold it with a wrench, and with the ratchet up front you just twist it out. And then you also got a 10mm bolt right there. Let me get you guys on focus. So that bolt right there, and then just the last connection, and this alternator should slip out. I'll show you guys in 1 sec. And there it is. So here's the 14mm bolt, and at the end I was actually wrong. There's a nut, and you got your 2 washers. And look how this came out, guys. So I need to go clean this at my job as well. And here's the alternator. You just remove this 10mm and this connector right here, which is this one. And all you have to do is just pry. You can just, like, if it's still not broken, you can just push, or you guys can just lift up and then just pull out, and then this alternator should come out. And next up is removing the fan clutch right here. So to remove the fan clutch, you got 4 10mm all around. All I did was just get out 2 wrenches. I just held this one while I broke this one loose, and I already loosened them already. But yeah, just take these off. And there it is, guys. Here's the fan clutch, and look at that. Just a lot of oil pile up, just like everything else. So most likely I'm gonna take these to work as well to wash them. I know you guys might be wondering why I didn't take off the elbow first to remove the alternator. And I kind of felt it beforehand, and I feel like there's some stuff stuck in here, like some residue of the coolant, and it just feels gross. You can feel like something squishy, like something stuck in there. And I'll show you guys. So we're gonna take this off right now. Check this out, guys. That's why I don't want to take off the elbow. I thought it was like some coolant residue, and there is just a lot of just dust. Anyway, I am going to replace that with new hoses and clamps. And next thing to replace is the next thing to remove is going to be this exhaust manifold. Okay, so now we are in the part where I'm not most excited about, and it's removing these studs. And honestly, I don't know when was the last time that this has been removed. And as you guys can see, I'm actually missing a couple studs, and when I first turned it on, it did run rough, but when I first turned it on, you definitely hear an exhaust leak. So I'm missing 2 bolts here, or 2 studs here, and I'm missing 1 right over there in that corner. So before I can even attempt to remove any of this, my first step, well, I'm gonna do this like step throughout the whole week, and I'm actually gonna spray some WD-40 on all these studs that I can try to remove. And I'm also gonna try to wire brush it. I'm gonna try to wire brush the threads, so if that nut comes loose, it should come as easy as possible when I try to remove it. So that's gonna be my first step. I am not gonna lie to you guys, I am very surprised how easily I was able to take off the studs and the nuts. I wasn't gonna wait a whole week to spray every day with those studs with WD-40, so it'd be much easier and it can penetrate with the oil. But I just wanted to try it out. I got my breaker bar right here, and then with a couple of 14s, I was just able to break it loose, and it surprisingly is coming out pretty easily, and even the gasket is coming out. But I was able to remove, like I said, some of them come out with studs and a nut, and some of them are just nuts. And yeah, I guess we can continue with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to remove some bolts down here. I'll try to show you guys, and then I'll show you guys in a bit. I kid you not, guys, as I was looking around, I found, because since I'm missing some nuts, I think I found one of the exhaust studs right there, and the nut as well. I'm telling you guys, like, whoever built this last did not know anything about rebuilding, so more surprises for us. And there it is, just like that. Let me recap on what I did. So I was able to take off the 3 bolts that I mentioned, that to take off the exhaust manifold, these 3 bolts. I'm guessing someone's been here before because this one is different from the rest. So once taking off those bolts, I also had to take off this shield right here, which is pretty close to the exhaust manifold. Let me show you guys. So that shield, it should be placed somewhere around here. I had to take it off because I didn't have like a long extension to to take off those bolts from all the way down there, but I was able to somehow. So I also forgot to mention that this shield next to the exhaust manifold is just held on by 3 12mm bolts. I also had to take off the bolts on that bracket of the downpipe just so I can have a little bit of wiggle room. If I didn't do that, I wasn't able to move the exhaust manifold all the way out because you have limited room to take it out. So by taking off those, I had enough space to push it this way, and then it's finally take it out. Okay, so that bolt right there, I have to fix it. It's actually broken in there, but I'll figure that out later. The next step that I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this elbow for the coolant passage for the lower radiator hose, or that goes connected to the water pump and I believe to the lower radiator hose. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and take that out, and I believe that is just held on by 2 bolts, which is this right here, that little bracket, and it's also held down by this bolt right here. So just follow the brackets and it should be easy to take out. I want to take it out right now just in case when I pull out the motor it doesn't get damaged while I take it out. So I'm going to do that right now. And here's the elbow. Like I said, it's only held on by 2 brackets and 2 14mm bolts. They are different size, so just keep track of where they go. The short one goes on top, and then the bottom one goes near the motor mount down there. So to be honest with you guys, there's not a lot left. All I have left to do is just to remove the 2 motor mounts. I just have to disconnect these 2 lines, these coolant lines that go to the heater core, and then just the bell housing bolts in the back of the engine, and that's pretty much about it. And then we can honestly pull this engine out. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.